First tonight at 10, new documents shedding some light on the troubled history of the Middleton shooter and what was found inside his home. Plus, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement making a half a dozen arrests today in Madison. Reaction from the chief of police. And later, it is week 6, high school football now in the books. All of our Prep Mania highlights moments away.
This is News 3 at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. We are getting new information about the 4 officers who confronted the shooter in Middleton this week. The city's chief of police calling their actions heroic. The Middleton Police Department has identified them as Officer Richard O'Connor and Officer Tyler Lother. Officer O'Connor has been with the department since 1998 and is actually an active shooter response trainer. Officer Lother has been with the department since 2012 and is the current school resource officer at Middleton High School. The other 2 Dane County Sheriff's Office deputies who engaged the shooter, David Lambrecht and Matthew Earl. Deputy Lambrecht has been with the department for 21 years, Deputy Earl for 11. All 4 officers involved are on paid administrative leave, which is standard protocol until the investigation is complete. We are also learning much more about the Middleton shooter, Anthony Tong, today, including a disturbing incident in his past. News 3 obtained court documents detailing a welfare check in Sioux Falls back in 2004 where Tong lived. His landlord had called police after Tong disabled several smoke detectors. The documents described Tong as, quote, acting very odd, holding a handgun and telling police the smoke detectors were used to eavesdrop on him. Officers then discovered more than 1,000 rounds of ammunition along with an AR-15 rifle.
Based on that incident, Tong had his concealed carry permit revoked. And based upon that history, Tong was unable to legally purchase a firearm.
According to a search warrant document released publicly today inside Tong's home on the far west side of Madison, investigators found several gun parts, hundreds of rounds of ammo, a gun-making kit, Kevlar vests as well. Police say the weapon used in Wednesday's shooting was, quote, unique, making it more difficult for the ATF to track down the seller.
And investigators have been or will be speaking to coworkers, acquaintances, and family. The family is out of state. They have been interviewed by the FBI, but certainly investigators from Division of Criminal Investigation want to do more in-depth interviews and to try to find out if in some way they can determine a motive. But as of now, a motive has not been determined.
In a new statement today, the business involved, WTS Paradigm, says Tong was an employee in good standing and was not facing any sort of disciplinary action. As for 3 victims remaining in the hospital, some good news tonight. The police chief says they are all expected to survive, even after one of them had been shot 10 times. 2 have been upgraded to good condition, a third now listed in fair condition. And for anyone who was impacted by this event, directly or indirectly, there are trauma specialists available to talk for help. Simply call one of these numbers listed on your screen. You can also find those numbers on our website, channel3000.com. And as always, any updates related to the shooting will be shared online at channel3000.com and on air tomorrow on News 3 this morning. Next at 10, Madison officials are demanding some answers after 6 people were taken into custody by federal immigration officials. News 3's Adam Duxter joins us in our news center with why local leaders are saying federal officials didn't follow procedure here. Adam?
Well, Eric, there's still a lot of unanswered questions tonight, but what we do know is that 6 Madison area residents are in federal custody tonight. And Madison city officials were surprised by this since they were not notified the agency was in the city.
We are going to stand with these families.
This is the message from Madison Mayor Paul Soglin today, after 6 people in the Madison area were arrested by immigration officers and taken into custody. Today, Madison officials are saying ICE did not follow proper procedures in the arrests.
When we have historically been told before or even on the day of the event, if there are dynamic circumstances, we've been told where, when, and why.
But Chief Koval saying today that wasn't the case, and Madison police were not notified these arrests would be happening. Koval says officials are still working to find out who was arrested, why they were arrested, and where they're being taken. But city leaders say they do know these arrests were targeted, not a part of a roundup or raid.
We do not want to send a message that there is a massive race going on in our city and creating any sense of additional panic.
City leaders say that Madison has budgeted money to help in legal defense for situations like these.
We're devastated, we always are, but I think we've come to expect the worst, and the city is ready to prepare and prepared to defend against anything.
And say there were never threats that could have provoked these arrests.
This is completely contrary to city policy. We have not had any issues regarding legal or illegal immigrants in our community.
Now, city officials have provided a phone number to call for people who are encountering ICE and have questions about legal defense. That number is 608-242-6260. You can also find it on our website, channel3000.com.
Adam Duxter reporting tonight in our news center. Adam, thank you. Let's turn it over now to weather. Things have really cooled off in the last 24 hours. A chilly football Friday as we look at the Capitol. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti in the Weather Center. Gary?
Eric, I don't think the football players minded it, but the crowds probably felt the chill, and we are looking for a pretty chilly night tonight. Let's start out by taking a look at weather tracking and see just a few clouds still left over southern Wisconsin, mainly mid and high level clouds. The lower clouds have been starting to break up, and over much of northern and central Wisconsin, the clouds have cleared out altogether. Now, as we take a look at the high temperatures today across southern Wisconsin, they were early this morning. We were 80 degrees here in Madison before a cold front came through with those thunderstorms between about 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. Low temperatures are the current temperatures. Here in Madison, we're down to 52. Temperatures already in the mid to upper 40s to our west. And you can see those are the current temperatures there. Some 30s already to the north and west with dew point temperatures in the upper 30s. And as we check out our forecast first for tomorrow, look for temperatures to start out around 40 degrees. Tomorrow we'll see mostly sunny skies, but it will be a chilly day. High temperature at 66. That's your first alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. Madison schools have confirmed a 15-year-old was arrested for a shooting on a city bus. They say he was, in fact, inside La Follette High School for a brief time. In a letter to parents, the school says that student was let in a side door by another student on Wednesday against protocol. That 15-year-old who had the gun will likely be expelled. La Follette, Senate Middle School, and Monona Grove High School were all put on lockdown Wednesday evening after a shot was fired on a Madison Metro bus. The teen allegedly accidentally shot another student in the leg on the bus. The school is also taking follow-up actions with the student who opened that door. And students at Lakeview Elementary School found a BB gun this morning in the forest there on school property. In a letter to parents, the principal says the students did an excellent job reporting it. The students were sent inside. The district says it will provide updates as police investigate. A teenager has been sentenced to 30 months in federal prison for his involvement in a brazen gun shop burglary last year. A stolen car crashed through the front of PT Firearms in Cross Plains. This was last October. 19-year-old Khalil Lights pleaded guilty today to charges of conspiring to burglarize a business, selling firearms, and possessing and concealing stolen firearms. He is the second individual sentenced in this case. The parents of Bo Solomon, the UW student killed while studying overseas in Rome, have now testified in the manslaughter case. Jody and Nick Solomon told Italian State TV they testified today at the latest hearing in the trial that started in May. A homeless Italian man in his 40s has been accused of pushing Bo into the Tiber River in 2016. There is more to come tonight at 10 when we come back. Fall officially begins tomorrow, and as Gary mentioned, it'll feel like it. He'll have his full weekend forecast, and this Friday night, just beginning News 3 Sports with all your Prep Mania highlights just moments away. All right, Gary Canalte's tough out there. Doesn't need the jacket yet, but we might be, flirting with the upper 30s by sunrise?
Parts of our viewing area, and I'll tell you, I'm about 5 steps from the door, so don't worry, I'm not going to freeze out here. I will tell you one benefit of it being this cool, no mosquitoes out here tonight. That's really nice. But tomorrow starts autumn, and it actually starts when the sun's rays are directly overhead the equator. So at that point, we have roughly about 12 hours of daylight and darkness across the entire planet. As we go into the fall and winter, our days get shorter and shorter until the first day of winter. But officially, that occurs where the sun's rays are directly over the equator at 8:54 Central Time tomorrow night. So that's when fall officially starts from an astronomical standpoint. Now, as we take a look at the high temperature trend, with a weather standpoint, it feels like fall's already here. 66 for a high tomorrow after getting down to around 40 for tonight. Temperatures low 70s for Sunday and Monday, and then upper 60s for Tuesday and Wednesday, low 60s by Thursday and Friday, and temperatures only around 60 for next weekend. And the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook calling for about a 60% chance of below normal temperatures in our part of the country, with about a 40% chance of above normal precipitation. Time lapse from the Platteville Queen Bee Radio Skycam today shows plenty of clouds, occasional breaks, a little bit of sunshine filtering on through, although as we headed into the afternoon, a little more sunshine from time to time, and you see those clouds starting to break apart. As we look at the live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison, it's refreshing out there tonight. We'll check out the almanac, and our high temperature of 80 was early this morning. Then that line of thunderstorms came through between about 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, and our low temperature is the current reading of 52, so the temperature's been falling all day. Winds are out of the north at 9 miles per hour with a dew point temperature in the lower 40s. Temperature should at least dip into the lower 40s here in Madison. High temperatures today, lower 80s over southern Wisconsin. But look where those temperatures are now, about 30 degrees cooler, already in the upper 30s up in northern Wisconsin. So for tonight, mostly clear, much cooler, low dropping to 40. Tomorrow, sunny and cool with a high temperature of 66 degrees. On future track, look for clear skies overnight. Temperatures dropping to around 40 in Madison, but upper 30s to our north and west. Sunny skies for tomorrow, highs mid-60s. For tomorrow night, look for skies to be mostly clear with low temperatures back in the lower 40s. And on Sunday, we'll see sunny skies, high temperatures, upper 60s to the lower 70s. 7 to 10-day forecast, temperatures a little warmer for Monday, high of 74, but some showers and thunderstorms Monday night and some showers on Tuesday. Then cooler weather for the end of next week and very cool by the end of the following weekend.
Well, as you heard Gary just say, finally feels like some fall football weather out there for week 6, and everyone went big. We've got some big upsets, some big wins, especially in our Prep Mania game of the week between 3-2 Madison La Follette and 4-1 Sun Prairie. First half action here, Lancers quarterback Ben Probst hands it off to Jalen Brown. He goes up the gut for the short score, 6-0 La Follette. Sun Prairie would answer. Richie Gillis calls his own number, dives into the end zone for the damage. Cardinals with a 7-6 lead thanks to the PAT. Cardinals still hitting it hard. Nathan Shower, 15 yards for the touchdown there, 14-6 Sun Prairie, and they keep the ground and pound going this time. Jacob Hellenbrand with the touchdown. Sun Prairie with the big win, 50-6 over Madison La Follette. After the game, Jay Wilson caught up with Cardinals senior Ethan Ackley on the big win.
Sun Prairie wins its 5th straight. Ethan Ackley's one of the best two-way players in the entire state of Wisconsin. And Ethan, let's see, the offense scored points, the defense scored points, the special teams scored points. That's a pretty complete game for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, it's super complete. I mean, the whole team all around played really well.
And what's made this defense come together? I mean, you guys are on such a roll now.
I mean, it's really the chemistry. I mean, our team's really coming together and bonding really well as the season goes on. And it's awesome to watch, really. As one of the leaders of this team, it's awesome.
Yeah. And the confidence must be sky high as well.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. I mean, we only let up 6 points tonight. So, I mean, it's got to be up there, you know.
Yeah. And now you're back in the Big 8 conference race and you qualify for the play. Life is good, isn't it?
Yeah, life is good.
All right. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Can I shout out GBB real quick, my boys, Adam and Hakeem.
Well, there you go. And that makes it complete. Yeah. Thanks, Ethan. Sun Prairie wins. They're 5-1, tied for first in the Big 8 Conference.
Oh, we love the shout-outs. More Big 8 action here. Undefeated Memorial lighting it up as the Spartans visit 3-2 Verona. First half action here. Adam Beck's airing it out to Shea Watson. 32-yard completion there. A few plays later, Wildcats will go for it on 4th down. Jackson Acker with the touchdown here, 7-0 Verona. Later, Wildcats will punt it away. Here's the importance of special teams, folks. Goes over the head of Memorial's Cade Ellingson. He loses it there. Wildcats recover the ball thanks to Keegan Lindell. Ensuing drive here, Beck scrambles. This duo worked the first time. Let's go back to it again. He goes back to Watson. He's down at the 1-yard line. On the very next play, Lindell runs it in. 14-0 Verona at the half. They hand Memorial their first loss of the season, winning 28-10. 3-2 Oregon hosting 5-0 Stoughton. Vikings aiming to stay perfect tonight. Oregon's first possession, Keon Zudi. He'll take the handoff, cuts back, goes 10 yards for the touchdown, 7-0 Panthers. Stoughton in the red zone a little bit later. Adam Hobson, he steps back to pass, but he's picked right there. Jack Hoffley with the thievery. He'll get 23 yards on the return. Then on the ensuing drive, Zudi again, this time from 7 yards out, but for some spirit fingers from Coach. Oregon handing Stoughton its first loss of the season, 35-10, the final. Moving now to Edgerton, they'll take on Beloit Turner at home for homecoming. First quarter action here, ball on the 11-yard line. Jaden Johnson fakes the handoff, runs it in himself on the keeper, 6-0. Second quarter action here, Kenny Draveling. He'll launch that ball from the 35. Edgerton tips it into the hands of Card Brady for their first touchdown of the night. 13-9 is the score. Jaden Johnson later hands it off to Devin Jorgensen, who runs it in from the 10, 31-10. Final, Edgerton wins 52-16. Beaver fans cheering on Reedsburg as they host Mount Horeb Barneveld. Both teams only have one loss this season. All Vikings early on. First quarter action, Malik Winston takes the handoff, finds his way into the end zone. Mount Horeb Barneveld goes up by 2 touchdowns now. Next possession, Gunnar Nortman. He'll take the handoff, pushes his way into the end zone. Reedsburg down 14-7. Vikings answer shortly after. Caden Lee takes the snap. He will keep it himself. He goes 75 yards untouched there for the rest of the way for the score. Mount Horeb Barneveld literally running away with it. They win 57-32. Some more scores here. Middleton shutting out Janesville Parker. Janesville Craig beats Madison East. West beats Beloit Memorial. DeForest winning big over Baraboo. Monona Grove stays perfect over Monroe. Beaver Dam beats Portage. Wanakee moving to 6-0 this season with a shutout win over Sauk Prairie. Watertown beating Milton. Edgewood over Fort Atkinson. McFarland, also another perfect team this season. They have a 6-0 record over Bigfoot, and Wisconsin Dells shuts out Westfield. To the Capital North Conference as the Poinet Pumas hosting the defending Division IV champions, the Lodi Blue Devils. We start in the second quarter, 6.5 until halftime. Lodi's Zach Potter hands it off to Ben Rashid, who pushes his way into the end zone for the 1-yard score. Blue Devils take the 6-0 lead. About 4 minutes later, the Pumas driving now, but the ball goes through the receiver's hands, and Lodi's Luke Beckwith picks this one off. He would take it down to Poinet's 35-yard line. That would set up this here. Blue Devils Potter faking the handoff, rolls to his left, finds Cade Parsons right there. Some good hands in the end zone for the 10-yard score. Lodi would be up 13-0 at the half. They beat Poinet 27-7 and remain undefeated on the season. A chilly night as River Valley takes on Lancaster. Some hot cocoa there, of course. First quarter, Dawson Bowen gets the handoff. He pushes in. A lot of pushing in tonight. Some big touchdowns for the tie game here. Still in the first quarter, ball on the 3-yard line. Will Bailey runs the ball in to take the 14-7 lead. 4 minutes left in the half. Shane Legal getting into the end zone. River Valley wins 27-17. Fall River entering the Blue Jays nest in Johnson Creek, the Crick as they call it. Both these teams are 5-0 this season. Blue Jays ball. Anthony Perpy taking the handoff, has a big hole there, and he's got a touchdown. Low scoring one here. Johnson Creek wins 14-6. They stay perfect, moving on to 6-0. Some more scores here tonight. Dodgeville wins 44-7 over Prairie du Chien. Lake Mills winning big over Columbus. Lakeside Lutheran with a big win over Watertown Luther Prep. Cuba City wins 24-8 over Boscobel. Jefferson beats Clinton 27-8. Marshall handing New Glarus Monticello a loss 18-13. Cambridge wins 28-6. Iowa Grant losing 1 to Mineral Point 42-6. And Fenimore They are also perfect this season, one of those rare teams here, 58-14 over Southwestern. Well, moving on to the Badgers now, a lot at stake tomorrow as they head on the road to Kinnick Stadium. That story next in sports. Well, the Brewers at PNC Park in Pittsburgh tonight. The game just got back underway about 45 minutes ago after more than 2 hours of rain delays. And whatever the Brewers did during that downtime, it worked. It was a big 6th inning for the team. Jesus Aguilar doubles that one deep to right field. It would be off the wall. Christian Yelich coming home. The Brewers down 3-2 at this point. Later, Travis Shaw at the plate after some awful defensive moves there from the Pirates. Travis Shaw at the plate. 2-run home run to right field here. Brewers taking the 4-3 lead. They lead 7-3 right now in the top of the 7th inning. Well, 3 of the last 4 Big Ten West titles belong to the Badgers. The other one went to Iowa. They took the crown briefly in 2015, and the Hawkeyes had to go through Madison to get it, so they know that's the deal. And they know that's not the only trophy they want to keep in Iowa City.
You know what gets me even more cranked up is that, and I haven't seen that bowl since 2015. You know, I mean, that thing was sitting right over here, and it hasn't been there for a few years, you know, and that gets me super motivated.
We want to go to the places that we want to do this year, that you got to go through Wisconsin, and that's just the proven factor is, you know, Wisconsin owns the West, and you got to go through them to get there.
To the Packers now. If you didn't know, tight end Jimmy Graham was actually a standout in basketball. He played college hoops at Miami, as well as a season of football while he was a grad student. Now, Badgers head coach Greg Gard remembers him trying to recruit him actually to come to Madison. But apparently, the North Carolina native, not a big fan of winter.
Almost ended up in Madison, that's for sure. Pretty wild, yeah. I remember, seeing all the pictures of it in the summer and how gorgeous it was, and they're rattling off all these stats, and then I saw a picture of it in the winters. And, I didn't know lakes froze, so.
And in case you missed it last night, the Cleveland Browns won a game for the first time since December 24th, 2016. That's 635 days. So as promised, these refrigerators stocked with beers around the city unlocked. The beer company put them around the city of Cleveland before the season started, and they were programmed through wireless technology to unlock when the Browns finally won a game. We'll be right back.
All right, Gary's back as fall moves in tomorrow, Gary.
It's here. Yeah, look at these temperatures. It's pretty chilly out there already. 52 in Madison, but already in the 40s to our north and west. 37 right now in Black River Falls. Ooh. Some 30s showing up over central Wisconsin already. And with the dew point temperatures very low in the upper 30s and lower 40s, that's about how cool temperatures will get by tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's high temperature about 66. A little warm up early next week, and then even cooler by the end of next week.
Like you said, though, the mosquitoes are gone.
They're gone.
Have a great weekend.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.